Robbie, how are you, sir?
I'm fighting this big ass fly that's flying around. I thought it was a drone a minute ago, but every time he
Hey,
goes by me, there he is. Look how big he is.
I think
Guess what? I
he's
think
got a
he
he's got a camera mounted on his head. Did you notice
I
that?
think so. He's got a headache now. I'll tell you that for sure. So let's see who we got here. We got a bunch of people in the chat. Got Bagwell. He was first. Got Mr. Al's in here. Idaho Quadcopter. Marcus is in here. Steve Knowles. JSK Enterprise. Ray Kelly. Hey, it's funny. Every time we see Ray on his live stream, he pulled out his Mavic 3 today and he said, I've always got it near me. So he's only got two hands because I guarantee you in that other hand, he's got that tablet taking names for next year's event. And I know he's listening because I see him in here. So who else we got? Gary Bowers in here, Drone Views Media, Anubis Arts, TJ, Drone Life RC, Baccarat Show. All right. Okay, guys, we got all kinds of kind of cool stuff to talk about and some things not so cool to talk about. So let's get some of the not so cool stuff out of the way first. Got the Altel, sent the Nano, sent it to Al from here in Thailand, had jello issues. We know that, Johnny, we know you sent yours in, had yours repaired. There were some other people that did. They did a firmware update. It fixed some of the issues. After the firmware, Al still had issues with the Nano having the jello. So we contacted Altel and tried to explain the issue. They had us give them a video of the jello, a whole list of stuff that they needed, and we sent it to them. Okay? So close to a month went by. Didn't hear anything back from them. Nothing at all. Contacted him again. A guy emailed me and he goes, hey, we don't even have a ticket that you even turned in any information on this. And I looked down in the email and it was the original email between me and the agent with the ticket number, the complaints, and all the other stuff. And they had forwarded it to him and he forwarded it to me saying they didn't have the information. So to be honest, it was just terrible, terrible customer service. So needless to say, with all of this, it's been a month and a half now.
I
And
just
the
want to say
issue,
hi to hey, I want to say hi to Johnny. He just said hi, Robbie and Al. Thanks for joining. Ray Kelly's also here. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for dropping by. But yeah, it's been amazing to me how clumsy their customer service has been. I mean, from
well,
here, after talking to Marcus and hearing his story, it's been horrifying how they've been treating their customers. Well, I
yeah,
think they're just overwhelmed right now, but let's
well,
hope their staffing comes up to speed. But, if you have in the subject matter of your email a case number or whatever you call it, incident number, whatever they call it, support case number on the heading, and the guy goes, I don't even have a ticket. What are you talking about? It's
yeah,
in the heading of the email.
exactly. Well, update is I talked to him an hour and a half, probably 30 minutes before Ray's show. I got a hold of him and got a hold of a new, he's the service, I guess he's like the service rep. His name is Bill, and
You notice
explained
Johnny
everything to him.
said that he had an excellent customer service experience. So, as usual, he's always the person that grabs your ticket that's going to
Yeah,
be the one that's good or bad. So, I'm sorry to interrupt. Keep going,
that's
Robbie.
okay. So anyway, I spent probably 45 minutes on the phone with him explaining the process, and he was wanting me to send the information in, and I just forwarded him back the original email that they had sent me because it's all in there. And he told me, he said, we have a lot of issues here, and I was just hired here to fix all these issues. And I said, well, you've got your hands full. And I said, but here's my question. Are you fixing things? He said, it's going to take us a while to get caught up to get in that position. I said, okay. So you're telling me right now your service is not up to par to what it needs to be. So my question to you is, should we be buying Altel products if you can't answer the customers back in service and everything else? And of course, I got to beat around the bush talk of, oh, yeah, we're ready. But I'm like, well, you're not ready because you still have issues. Now, I know that Marcus had an issue with his drone, lost it, went in the water, sent him the information, and they kind of like ghosted him from what I understand. So they've done it to him, they've done it to me. So I guess my question is, as we're buying these drones, I mean, now I spent a lot of money. I spent $1,050 on that drone. I spent another $1,750 on the Nano Plus. You know, in my eyes, will I ever buy another Autel product? I don't know. They'd have to really up their game, because after being a couple $1,000s in and can't even get a response. So when I called them today and told them, hey, you're welcome to watch our live stream tonight because we're going to talk about this issue. Al, we had an issue with you, and it was with your Skydio. Me and you were flying over the James River, and it went in. They asked for the flight recorder information. We sent it in. I emailed them. I think Marcus even did. A couple other people emailed in and said, look, Al, he's got your product. He's been reviewing your product. He likes it. You really need to help this guy because he's a good promoter for you. And what did they do, Al?
They actually contacted me via email and kept in touch with me within the first day, first 24 hours, and they ended up getting all the information from me that they requested, which was, everything that I had in my flight logs. I didn't have the black box because that went down with the drone, but then also gave them the video that you had from your Air 2 at the time. Remember, you were flying Air 2.
Right.
And I sent them all that information, and in 3 days they had agreed to replace the drone and the battery that went down with it.
Right. And they did send it to you.
Right, and they were in the middle of firmware updates that were going to address that matter, so I was not privy to that problem. But yeah, it was man, that was scary as hell for sure.
Well, it was a firmware issue, and just so everybody knows, they did a firmware update to fix the issue that Al had. So had they not investigated, found out what the issue was, it could have happened to more people. And
I
then you
agree.
may be in a situation where you spent, a couple $1,000 on equipment and everything for your drone, and then it doesn't work. So I know that Stevie Bronx had a video of Marcus's crash in his situation, and Marcus sent all that information in to Autel. And from what I understand from Marcus, they pretty much said, well, we just can't decide what, we don't know what to say. And they've not talked to him or said anything else out. So Autel is watching right now. They're not in the chat, but I know for a fact because I talked to them tonight and let them know Autel is watching in the background. So, we definitely need to make sure that they stand up and help us and help people that have issues with their drones, because this is your money. I'll tell the people that are in this chat, this is the people that give you jobs, that buy your products and buy your drones. These are the people you need to take care of. And not just me and Marcus, because we have live streams. There's people on here that don't have live streams, but they're customers. All of our money should be equal, no matter who we are. You should take care of everybody. So I'm really eager to see, what we can do to do that. So we're going to show you a little bit of a video that Al took when his Skydio went down, and let you see the situation. And then, Autel, pay attention to what Skydio did for Al, because you need to reach out and help Marcus, and you need to reach out and help us on the Nano that we're having issues with too. So let me play this, Al. You got audio?
Battery at 7:30 in the evening. The Skydio 2 decided to go down right behind me, right there.
So to give it some context, the river is running really high, as you can see from the trees in the lower right-hand quadrant and the trees in the left-hand quadrant. And here I am, very upset.
Can you turn the audio up a little bit, Al?
Sure.
The return home didn't work. I'll show you over here where we took off from.
Yeah, this was a bad day for us out there when this happened because we just couldn't believe what we saw with our eyes when the sensor messed up under the drone and just went right in the water.
This is popcorn right here. This is the popcorn on the bottom. I had to throw maybe 10 to 15 yards out. It started raining right in the water. Why? I don't know. So sick. Rub on. No more.
Yeah, we were like, what, Al, 50 foot from where you're seeing it out over the water right there hovering? It just froze on us.
We were both flying drones, and he had either two up here or just flying here with the pilots that were coming by. And, you know, we kind of got it another way, once in a while. And I'm not that really got out of the two flying. Right. And then he was behind me. So, I'm going to hold that up with you guys. Look out. Up and out. It's terrible wrong. We turned over to the road.
Yeah, so it landed right about here, Robbie.
So I'm flying this Scotty-2 from the platform, about 10, 15 yards away. And it decides to start landing like now. And I'm just
Al, I would just cut your audio off and just narrate this.
I was like, hey, Robbie, man, can you bring back your two and see if you can give me a hand?
Cut the volume down more.
Get this Skydio back. You can see as he's coming back.
It's completely off, Robbie.
Just
and you can see my
So
Skydio.
there's his drone there.
Yeah. And you're flying back. You're trying to get back.
Desperate.
So it's hovering there. It didn't go anywhere except for in the water after that.
Yeah, it wouldn't respond to either commands from my beacon, my phone, or the controller. It just sat there and decided to land. So, yeah, it was a desperate attempt to try to connect to it and try to get it back home. But it wouldn't do it. I mean, one of the fail safes of all drones is if you lose connection to your controller, it should return back home. It should not land in place. So with that said, you know, I'm pulling out a controller out of my bag right there. And no, actually pulling out my beacon, trying to get my beacon out so I can, you know, connect to the beacon. At least I can, you know,
crash it into a wall.
For some reason I could get it back, but it was slowly descending. It didn't happen. It was just a crazy. Oh God, nightmarish event we went through.
How special that he is.
So it was pretty bad, and this is actually footage of these three guys that were standing next to me, and they were kind enough. But I think we could stop it here, Robbie. You know, here we are discussing the issues and what Skydio should do, and why they should do that. And, so it was.
Skydio came through for you. They sent you a new drone, another battery, which was great. So we're hoping that we can get Alltel to follow like what these other companies are doing, and when we have issues, because we're flying these all the time. We're the best promoters for their company. But I'll tell you, with the experience that I've had so far and with what Marcus had so far, it'll really put a damper on me ever buying an Alltel product again. If they make it right and the customer service maybe gets better. And it's not as much of the drone, it's the communication, the support. And so basically we've got to pay $1,050 paperweight sitting at Al's because, you know, we can't get any information. So today when I talked to them, they gave me an address to mail it back to, but they said that they had to wait and send me a RMA. So let's kind of keep an update on what's going on with me and Al. Keep an eye on what's going on with Marcus and anybody else that's considering buying the Alltel products. At this point, I would hold off and wait and see, because he says they're having extreme problems with, I guess, the area that does the repairs and everything else. So that throws an alarm up to me. And he's like, we're just not there yet. It's going to be a while before we're ready to like get everything right. And I'm like, so should I buy or should I tell people to buy your product if you're not right? Oh, yeah. I said, well, no, wait a minute. Now you're just saying that y'all aren't ready and you're having issues, but yet you want me to go ahead and tell the customers, yeah, buy the product. So which one is it? Are you ready now? Or are
They're
you
ready to
not
take
ready?
your money, Robbie. Obviously.
Exactly.
They're
And that's
gonna
what we got to
they're
make
gonna take your
sure.
money and then figure out how to do it next. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you want
Maddie
me
made
to
a comment. Maddie made a comment here. It said they don't want that video of the thing falling out of the sky to go viral. And I'll tell you, it,
they could.
it
If
could,
we keep
guys. It
pushing it,
could. So
yeah, we definitely could. All right. So Robbie, guess what I got in the mail? Oh, enlarge
show me
this,
what you
Robbie.
got.
Enlarge it.
Oh, he's
Make me
got that
large. Make me
that
large.
the Hero Black.
Yeah, hit that large button there, Robbie,
Okay,
on the
hold on. Let
screen.
me see if I can.
And then I'll open it up for you all. Hey, Maddie, you ought to be very interested with this. Not the other one that just puts me. That's fine. That'll work, Robbie.
Okay.
So check it out. This is the bones. This is made just for FPV. And I already opened it and got it ready. So Maddie, you and I were discussing this last Thursday on my show. And this Thursday on the show, we're going to see the maiden flight with the GoPro bones. So basically, it's the same format as a. Let me see, where's my other? There it is. This is a 9, but a 9 and a 10 is almost the same format. You can see it here on top of each other. And so I can't wait to get it going. I've got some ND filters coming so I can protect the lens a little bit while I put it on my quad. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to be test driving this guy. Easy setup, guys. It only comes with one cable here. What I'm going to have to do is just, wire it to a balance plug on my.
What do you mean one wire? I see 3 wires.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm in 2 wires, so all I have to worry about is, yeah, good catch. It only has one connector, but 3
Okay.
wires, and obviously ground and positive. Let me get the camera to focus again.
So
And
is that made especially for FPV? Is that why there's exposed wires?
Yeah, and finally, GoPro's actually answering some of our concerns that we wanted because in the past, GoPro had a nice little little cube that you could mount on your quad, but they no longer make that, and so everybody crash cam exactly, Johnny. But anyway, yeah. So looking forward to giving it a test, giving it a go, and this weekend, man, I did something very scary. I don't know if anybody's ever done any dives on a crane. Well, the crane is hardened carbon steel against carbon fiber is not going to work if you hit something. You know what I mean? So I am really, really looking forward to making a video for you all about my first crane dive. So stay tuned. Hopefully it'll come out well, and we can get to, get some good video out of it. I don't know. We'll never know until you look at it. So let me see if I have anything I can share with you all. All right, I can share a little bit, I believe. So, Chris Waters, have you done any crane dives before? Let us know if you have, or anybody in the chat, have they done any crane dives before? And Robbie, when are you going to be jumping into the FPV world? I know you tried a little bit before you left.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my parts now. This is the carbon fiber one. So I'm waiting on everything to.
You got the CNC cutter, or did you have somebody cut it for you?
No, this is the machine that we cut them ourselves on this one.
Okay.
So and it's 100%. There's nothing else in it. It's pure carbon fiber, and I'll tell you, it's solid. It's lightweight, but you can feel it's stiff.
I'll tell you what, Emax revolutionized the carbon frames when they came out with the Baby Hawk 2, because that format that you're looking at, where you just don't have a true X, you end up with the support arms coming to the frame.
Right.
Emax was the first to market with that, and it has taken off. And I love that little Emax. I know Chris Water does, and there's Greg Thompson from Harley FPV and all that. But yeah, on the screen you'll see, if you accept my share, you'll see a crate.
Sure. Okay.
All right, so this is right next to the post office here. That's where this building's going up, Robbie. You haven't been here in a while, so just kind of
Is it across the street or same side? Oh yeah, it's on that corner.
Yeah,
Across
yeah.
Rangebrook.
Yeah, the gas station is right here that you're used to familiar with. But anyway,
Okay.
I'm not sure how this video came out. I haven't even looked at it. I just took this yesterday and I've been busy. So I just wanted to kind of, get in here. I was thinking about going in the garage and flying around into the garage and then coming back out. But my signal was so weak. This is a test run. I just wanted to see if I lost any kind of signal. Also, too, I wanted to make sure that I didn't fly over that federal property. Okay. So I'm just going to head and just go ahead, just circling around, making sure I have a good signal. Then I'm probably going to crank it up a little bit and then get up here and just kind of get a feel what I'm going to do. I'm just, first time doing anything is always a little funky. And so I'm like, okay, I'm dialing it in. I can feel everything's working fine. So I'm just going to goof around, I think, until I'm comfortable, and then I'm going to let it rip a little bit. Just looking at all those cables, and hitting one of those would not be good. It would guarantee coming down for sure. All right, so let's crank it up and see if we can get down in this thing. And there's the dive. Woohoo! Man, you talk about scary. That one scares the hell out of you.
Al, what building is that? What are they putting in the building?
It's going to be a series of shops and dwellings. So it's going to be multiple family dwellings, like apartment complex condos, and then at the bottom is going to have shops. You can see my three other buddies here in crime. We're all diving it together. So here goes Kyle. He's going to go next. He's probably the most aggressive flyer in our group. So we're kicking back on the construction site. I'm flying right from this concrete culvert. And let's see if there's another one we can share. Yeah, there's one. Okay, there goes Kyle. Let's back it up. This is his drone here, and I'm going to follow him for a little bit. But again, he's super aggressive. He wasn't ready. He said, just take off without me. And then he finally got a connection. And I said, all right, just blow by me, and I'll see if I can keep up with you. And so my job was try to keep up with it without hitting him. And he's just going to crank it up. And I'm like, okay, I want to save my battery because I just want to dive. And there he went. That was his dive. So we were just kind of watching each other's back, make sure, we're communicating, car coming. We got a person walking, we got dog, family with dogs, blah, blah, blah. And so that's my first dive. And unfortunately, there's no way I was going to try to attempt to dive between the cables because they had all this linkage in the middle. You see all that linkage. There's no way. No way I was going to do it.
Wow.
So now I understand what I got to do. I got to snap my turns a little harder, a little faster, and that way I can get better, images. But That's it. First dive. I'm going to put out a video about my experience and what lessons learned from it. Um, so yeah, it makes it interesting. And then hopefully the crane will still be up this weekend. And you get up early Sunday morning, and usually nobody's there. And the post office is closed by then.
That's a
Um,
great place to fly, though, Al.
yeah, isn't it something? So I decided to abort this one because I was getting too close to all those linkages.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll put a video together. This is just a raw video. This was shot with the Hero 7 Black, and yeah, with a bunch of buddies. No, that's a big freaking crane. You see each one of those plates, like the weight lifting plates. They're
Yeah.
5 tons.
Wow.
And they're stacked on top of each other like they're nothing, man. There's a lot.
Yeah. Pretty area there. I miss it.
So there we go. All right, I'll stop sharing.
Okay. Wow. Good place to fly, Al. Good place to fly. Brings back a lot of memories. Of course,
Yes.
I really enjoyed downtown when we went to was it Libby Hill?
Yeah, that was one of our favorite places to go, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's comfortable. You
How
got
about the
shade.
rainstorm? Remember that?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Dude, my drone came up soaked. You got in quicker than I did. I was flying
Yeah.
over the chimney stack, looking straight
Yeah.
down, and storm came in and just wiped us out. Anyway, hey, we got a bunch of guys jumping in here. Bob Casey Ariel. Hey, Bob. Thanks for dropping by. We also have JSK Enterprises jumping in here. What's going on, man? Thanks for taking the time to listen to us chat. And also, let's see, what is Maddie saying? The building diving I just put out was my first diving something. Oh, good. I got to watch it, Maddie. Thanks for cueing me in on that. I definitely got to watch it. I'm not sure why I didn't get the notification you published. But Maddie, I got some stuff that I need to post for, I guess that's going to be the Quad Mafia group. So you and I got to get together and give me the keys so I can start posting. I'd love to do that. Also, right now, Robbie in Virginia, the azaleas and the dogwoods are in freaking full bloom. I mean, gorgeous. So I decided to put a video. I'm going to put a video series together of all the beautiful colors you can find in Virginia parks, and it's going to be depicted using all the cameras that I can find that'll work. So that might be, GPS cinematic camera drones. There'll be the FPV drones. There'll be maybe the M50 mirrorless camera, and also the footage from my iPhone 13 Pro Max is freaking unbelievable. So what I've been doing lately, I'm thinking about just kind of shelving my M50 and using my Mobile 3 stabilizers on my phone to get this footage.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I mean, the kind of shots you can
Okay.
get. I mean, they're just incredibly nice how easy it is to film with.
You need to go to Maymont. They got those Japanese gardens. I flew my drone there, and they caught me and they ran me off. They're like, "We don't allow any drones." So I took it in and went down there. It took them a little while to see me.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'll share screen. Share screen. There we go. I'm not going to put audio on it because I was creating some havoc. Chris Waters was telling me that it was not coming across well. Okay, so this is just the iPhone 13 and you put it in the slow motion version, and you end up with these kind of really beautiful shots.
Wow.
They really are. And this is, I'm just going to click through them. And this is me walking to the flight area. You can see the azaleas are all over the place, way in the back, all over the place. And then this is the video that I put together. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Sorry, didn't mean to do that to you, but I'll find a video here in a second. Yeah, yeah. It's gotta be here. And this is the Bryan Park Azalea flight, and I'm going to jump to it. Okay, so that's me setting up, and here's what the first flight looks like. So this will be published tonight. I think I'm going to publish it tomorrow night. I'm going to queue it up for tomorrow night. I was hoping to have it in there. But so this kind of depicts what you can do with your FPV quad to get those cinematic looks if you got it, decent camera mounted on top. So that's usually going to be a GoPro with some kind of stabilizing software. And then you can get these kind of shots that will look pretty good. And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but you can see that these shots come out so nice. Back it up a little bit. And I just like slowing it down as much as I could flying. This is a 5-inch quad flying through here too. And I took the 5-inch because if I got it in trouble, I could do some tree trimming. I could just, and I did in this video, as a matter of fact, twice, and survived. So I look forward to posting that for you all to critique. As most of our YouTube droners know, every time you post something, you are critiqued to no end about everything, right, guys? It's always amazes me how people critique you differently when you publish than when you're a real person. They can just kind of hide behind the screen and behind the keyboard and just let it rip. Well, if you're
I don't care. I just put it out. I put out a video yesterday, and I shot it with an action too, and it was up close. It didn't turn out great the way the shape was or anything. It was the strangest thing I'd ever done, and I did it on some stuff I made with my 3D printer, and I posted it in my 3D printer group here, and it's been up for like 8 hours. I got 500 views already. So my crappiest video, but yet it's been the most viewed. But of course, 85% of it's coming from my group over here of the 3D print group that I'm in, because I posted it there. But as I was saying before, me and Al were talking about what we were going to discuss in tonight's show. And I want to show you guys a product that I ordered a while back, had some issues, got everything sorted out. So all you guys that have smart controllers, now this is for the new smart controller for the Mavic 3 that I've got. Let me show you this. I don't know if y'all have seen these. These are called Sticks, and they're made from a company in Australia. And the name of the company is called Scotty Make Stuff. And these, I paid $27 for the sticks. And let me show you what you get and show you they're really comfortable, but then I'm gonna let you know what happened to me in the meanwhile. So you've got your regular stick here, and this is what you replace it with. I'm gonna take this one off and show you. You got 3 parts. You've got a rubber base that goes here. It's gonna go over where it is. You've got your metal shaft that goes down that screws in. Well, let me put the shaft on first, because I want y'all to see this. So there's the shaft there, and then here's the cap that goes on it. It's got an aluminum bell that goes on the top, and then it's got like a hard 3D printed not TPU. The bottom is TPU, and the top part, I'm sure, is PLA. And some people saw that and said, man, it's just huge. These are actually too small the way you do it. This is so much more comfortable to the hand for what you've got. So basically, from what I can see is, what this basically does, it gives you a little bit of resistance. So when you're normally flying and it's moving around a little wacky, you know how it is sometimes when you fly, you got to be careful, and the drone does this. This actually gives you a little bit of resistance on the drone. It's really comfortable. I'm in love with the stick. I really am. Now, with that said, one thing that I'm really curious about on this, and a lot of people probably haven't noticed this, when you start this controller up, I think it must look to see that the stick is in the 0 position. The reason for that is when you tighten this up and it gets tighter, it puts more pressure on there. Once I got the sticks on and got it done, I tried to take the Mavic 3 up and it said, hey, you need to calibrate the sticks on the RC. And I was like, okay, never saw that before. So it opened up a screen and it showed both sticks where you have to move them up and down, left and right. Well, when you do that, you notice there's a little scale. And as you're pushing it up, it'll be like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Well, when I was pushing on the right one, I broke the little metal stick because it's not the same diameter from the top to the bottom. It goes all the way down and then it's like miniature where it screws in. But the problem is you have to push that stick up to 100 to get it to register. So after 5 minutes of moving it around, the controller never told me, like, great, you're finished, thanks. It just stayed there. And I was like, well, maybe you're just supposed to do that and then just fly it. So I did it. I got the Mavic Air up, Mavic 3, and when I did, it hovered. My sticks wouldn't work. Nothing. I didn't want to hit return to home for the fear of when I went up, I was in one position. I went up and around a cable, then went up. I could have hit the cable. There I was with my Mavic 3 frozen, a meter off the ground with no controller. So I'm sitting here looking, trying to figure out how can I grab it and save my fingers? So I'm looking around and everything else. So I reached up under the drone and grabbed the drone and forced it sideways where it would cut off. And let me tell you, that Mavic 3's got a lot of power. So I really panicked after that because I'd never had the smart controller tell me that I need to calibrate it. So I took the sticks off, put the original sticks back on, and this time I actually went and I used the Air 2S. If it crashed, it's not as expensive as the Mavic 3. It did fine. Never asked me for the issue or anything else. So I'm really wondering, maybe when I tightened the stick down, it was at a little bit off of that 0. And maybe the controller picked it up and said, hey, we want you to calibrate it because we see that you're not zeroed out. So anyone else that's had that issue, let me know. I'm really curious about that. Now, I've not flown the Mavic 3 again since I took the sticks off and on. Now, I'm in communication with a company now about getting a replacement shaft to do it because, man, it is so comfortable to be able to use this stick. And I can see where you could really, and they're called Cine sticks, so you're supposed to be able to give it better motion when you're flying. But yeah, they're $27 for the new controller. They also make it for the standard controller too that you're using on the Air 2S and the Mini 2. So they've got them for those also. But y'all should check out his website. It's Scotty Makes Stuff, and he's in Australia. They're setting some stuff up in the U.S. now where you can actually buy it. It's more likely probably through Amazon. But you guys check that out because it's a great stick. Don't let my story detour you. It was my mistake. I guess I just pushed too damn hard on the stick when I was pushing it, and I actually broke it off. So anyway, that's my 2 cents about that. But I love the stick. It was a great design idea, the way that he did it. And it's really, really comfortable compared to the little one that you have to like bend down and get. It's like right here to be able to move that. So that's it. That's it on that.
And you're sticking with it, right?
Well, the only issue I see with all this is every time that I take this off and stick it under there, I can put it in my bag. So we need Dobo to make us something to put this guy's sticks because when you take these apart, you have to take the head off or the bottom, the whole piece off, take that off, take this off, and then take the screw off. That's the only downfall. So I guess that if you had a case where you could leave those big sticks on, it wouldn't be an issue. Or if you just want to take the time for the comfort to use the stick, it would be a good idea. But hey, I like it. I wouldn't mind going out and putting it on. It's different and it feels good to the hand. So enough said on that. So what else is going on, Al?
Well, there's definitely a lot of stuff in the queue that we should probably talk about. I mean, obviously, the Mini 3 is a big story that's going to suck all the wind out of the room as usual. We've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. I think
Yep.
it's going to be a great product. The one wild card for DJI is, when are they going to get cut off from sales in the U.S.? Or is the U.S. going to follow suit like Germany did? I hope that
Yep.
doesn't come to it, but it's a possibility, as you know,
Yep.
because Germany cut off sales of the DJI products because of their, you know, privacy infringements, and
Same way with
basically,
Huawei.
yeah, yeah, and so I don't know, man. It's going to be one of the best products of the year, I believe. I think the Altel Nano Plus has a really good chance of competing with it if they get all their service stuff figured out and some of the Horizon issues a little bit. I think they're going to continue to improve the firmware, and I think that's most of the engineering resources right now are headed into that area to kind of improve that product along with the light. So let's hope they continue to make better products and hope they don't fall out of the skies like Marcus's um, little Autel Nano Plus did. I felt really bad for Ron Brown because he was the one flying it. And the funny thing about that whole situation, later on, Ron Brown was flying Marcus's Mavic 3 over the water. So I was like, he goes, Marcus is like, I'm good with Brown. What happened was an anomaly. I've never seen a drone just fall out of the sky the way it did. It definitely was like, somebody unplugged the battery. Like the battery shorted out, just gave out, you know. So anyway, so that's the way it goes. So it looks like we have Barry's in the house from NE Journalist. Hey, Barry. It was always a pleasure to meet you down in Florida. Had a great time doing those selfie shots where we were facing off. That was pretty cool. I still got so much footage I need to post from that trip. I really do. And the airplane chase, I definitely got to do. John Bonfants has joined us. Hello, hello. How are you? Thank you. And I do plan to be up in the New England area or up in your way, Barry and John. 4th of July, you know how you guys have that drone meetup up there in July. I look forward to being up there. That's going to be a great time. I know Ray Kelly lives up that way. Maybe, Ray, you can pick me up on the way up there in your fancy little Mercedes. Well, maybe you won't because I don't think you'd like to drive that far anymore. Uh, so, shall we get into a little bit of the Mavic 3? Let's hear from the audience here. Drop us a comment where you guys have been hearing about the Mavic 3, the good things and the bad things you guys have been hearing about. Uh, yeah, the Rhode Island Drone Meetup group. It's July 30th is the time to get up there. And it should be pretty hot, but it shouldn't be that bad. So, yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah, I think most of the people that were having the issues with the Mavic 3, the satellite issues, I think they're, from what I understand, I think they're pretty much fixed. I know Ray said he's getting his within like a minute to a minute and a half. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Ray. So I think that the only other person I know was having issues was Chuck was having issues and it on his, but I think his might have even got better also. I've not really had that many issues with mine at all. I'm okay on that part. Mine just doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It can be a little different when it comes like that.
Well,
Um,
let's talk about the Mini 3. You got any information on it now? Who have you found that's got leaks that we can look at?
well, as always, Drone DJ is probably the most relevant uh, person right now because apparently he has at least to my knowledge, he's got the best contact within DJI that's been feeding him. So, if you want, I'll enlarge what I'm looking at, and we can share
Okay.
it with the group. I've
Okay.
actually have my firewall turned up pretty high, so he's going to block
Okay.
a lot of the
Okay.
content, but it's still worth sharing. I think we can get a little bit out of it, that's for sure. Um, okay, so the rumors are running pretty wild and fast and furious. So he's talking about um, the DJI employees are going to be training for this product on the aircraft the end of this month. So for the last 10 days of this month, they're going to be training heavily, and they're hoping to release the drone by the end of the month. So
Yeah, I'd heard the 28th is what I'd heard.
yeah, he's stating, Drone DJ is stating here that it's either going to be the 27th or 28th.
Okay.
Um, so,
Well, my question is, who's going to buy it? I laugh because, and I feel like Ray Kelly did. Ray made the comment he's going to let everybody else buy it and watch and see what happens. I'm with you on that because I always said that I wasn't going to buy any minis because I have too much wind here. But if it has the design and the same leg pattern as far as the stance that the Mavic 3 has, and we'll see when it actually comes out, I may be willing to get it just because it looks cool and it
well,
might
that
have some new technology.
agreed. I mean, that's the point Drone DJ is making here. If you see there, it says potential buyers have a big question. How much will the Mini 3 cost? With the current supply chain shortages, we expect an increase to the product line, but it might cost you an arm and a leg. Jasper Ellens originally stated that DJI would come out with two models of the Mini 3, a standard version and a pro version. However, he later backtracked that statement, saying that DJI only plans to release one model. It makes sense because trying to control that supply chain right now, the way the
Mm-hmm.
supply chain being so disrupted
Yep.
by either labor shortages or part shortages, all of the above, would be a nightmare to try to keep up with two supply chains, right? So
Right.
we're talking $700 for the Pro, which is aligned with the competition, the Xeno Mini Pro and the Autel Nano Plus. And I have both of them. The Autel Plus, thanks to you, and they're both really comparable products here. And this gives you kind of a look of a Nafi here, doesn't it, guys?
Yep.
With the pitch motors being open to the top, but DJI is saying that it's not going to be able to pitch up 90 degrees like it pitches down. So,
My concern with that, Al, is with this particular drone, is the leaks that I've seen. They've been showing a different smart controller. We don't need no more smart controllers. I mean, we need to be able to use the smart controllers that we have now to be able to control this drone. Because I don't want to
or
buy this drone and get a standard controller. I want to be able to use my smart controller from my Mavic 3 because it was the newest product out at the time, other than the enterprise one that they've got for the other remote. So I'm really wanting to know when this comes out, am I going to be able to use the Mavic 3 controller with it? Are they going to stick a standard with it? Or the smart controller that I'm seeing looks so much bigger than what I've got now.
one of the things I'm looking at this picture here, Robbie, I mean, I really like how they put the arm incline of the motor. So if you look at
Yep.
the engineering here, it's designed to stand on his nose.
Yep.
So what you're looking at here is the pitch of these motors on the arms. They're definitely designed to be on their nose. One of the things that they're covering up here is all the logos, so you don't
Right.
see it. The interesting thing that I'm looking at here, the back foot here is the battery.
Right.
Um, so it looks like the battery is going to get unplugged. Here's the protector. It's you notice this thing, you're not going to be able to put it in your pocket without having to cover up the camera because you're going to rip the camera apart or scratch it.
Scroll up again. Scroll up again, Al.
Mhm.
If you look at the battery, I'll keep going up. If you look at that picture there, it looks like that is a squeeze button on the side there.
Which is a very nice thing because normally that's how you would grab things and pull it out of something.
So
right?
it's where the Mavic 3 has got them at the top. This one looks like it's got them at the bottom. So it looks
Yeah.
like a snap in, and it actually looks like the same way they did the board and everything with the battery for the Mavic 3 because it's right above it. And of
They
course, you got
copied they copied the Xeno Mini Pro. The Xeno Mini Pro has the squeeze tabs on the side. They're not as substantial what you're looking at here. Okay. Let's see. How did I zoom in too much? But yeah, that was nice. Let's take a look at the top of this thing here. You see this? What the heck?
Well, you know, it's funny
Glitch.
because you know how the Air 2S has got the sensors up there. Well, keep in mind, those back legs are at an arch. Maybe that's the proper angle for that to be used for the sensor.
It could be rear sensors sitting right here, Robbie.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is your airflow, and we're looking at USB-C port here, and so everything exposed to the element,
Right.
and you can see that this drone already has come apart. Somebody took it apart because they haven't snapped this piece back into place. But the SD card is here, and there's USB-C controller. But these two holes here are the ones that I'm interested in.
Look at that, Al. Look at what I'm showing you here. You see how this one's set up with it there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about where these are straight here on the props. The other one, and like you said, you know, is tilted up more. Maybe they've done that, and that's the sensor for that because the angle would probably need to be back further anyway. So that's probably what it is.
Yeah, and it looks like they have two optical flow cameras, but it's hard to tell because of the props are moved here and the sonic sensor at the same time. I'm guessing though that those two holes on the top here possibly could be rear sensors or just airflow. It just doesn't look. It's hard to say. We're speculating.
It says ultralight under that sticker. It's on. You can read it on the label on one of the pictures above it. So I'm curious whether they're going to try to give it a different type of name, whether it'll be the Mini 3 or the Mini 3 Ultralight or.
Yeah, and you know the aerodynamic thing of this guy looks really, really good, doesn't it? I mean, no, I won't be able to zoom in. It looks
it's got like breathers there on the back.
Yeah, and you can see how
Mavic 3 has in the front.
And they ran the whole. I don't know, the mold, see it running all the way to the vents here. So this is definitely going to be like a pitot tube effect where it's going to suck the hot air right out of it while it's moving.
Yeah.
So Bernoulli's effect will definitely take place there. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Let me see what else we got here. Okay, let's take a look at this guy here. All right, so these are actually very telling pictures for sure because now we see the pitch on the motors on the arms.
Yeah.
So
they're equal.
Yeah. So it looks like the forward pitch on this is definitely going to be increased. You know, when you use Betaflight, you can set up the arm pitch, and this will be the same way. They set up the maximum pitch angle. It looks like this is going to be a little bit more. And it looks like this top's been taken off a few times because, you know, if you look at the seams here, it's wider up top. And So pretty telling. All right. So will they show pictures of the controller? There's a controller. What does that look like to you, Robbie?
It's a little bit different, Al, because if you look at the bottom there,
right.
See where the power plug is on the right-hand side? I'm not sure. That black thing could be a rubber cover for the back. So this is the smart controller now, what it looks like on the new smart controller. And they're exact in line. Well, this is not in line. So that's definitely going to be a different controller than what this one is.
Aren't you happy about that? No,
No, I'm not
I'm just
happy
being.
about it now because trust me, that damn thing ain't cheap, and I will guarantee you that you're not going to get that smart controller with that drone for $6.99 or $8.99. That bucket, this is 1,200 or $1,250 for this. So that is
Let's
going to be. That's my question.
so that is a super good question that we need to pay attention to because, that's a good looking controller there. Now, if you were to get that controller with the package and you could leverage it to fly the Air 2S as an example, or the Mavic
Yeah,
3,
yeah.
that would be a fantastic buy. But
But
historically,
I've already got
DJI,
this.
yeah.
But I've already
But
got this. That's my issue.
I'm
So
not
I
talking
just.
about you. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
public.
Right.
Like somebody that doesn't already has an Air 2S and doesn't have a smart controller. This could be a really good buy if it controls those other products. So yeah, and then that's it on this because he started. And here's the bones. So it looks like Drone DJ is also talking about the GoPro bones, and I can't wait to fly it. To be honest with you, I'm going to be real conservative about it. But so that's it on that. And I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, that's the big. It's a big question on the smart controller. I mean, once you go smart controller, you don't want to ever use your phone again. It's just simple. Hit a button, it's on, and you fly and you go. And yes, it's a big investment. I mean, the controller costs as much as the Air 2S costs. So
Why don't
to
you
come out with a smart controller on the Mini 3, it's not going to be cheap, guys.
You see what Chris is saying there in Chris from Sunrise Water Media? He's talking about. I wonder what's missing
Yeah,
from the Mini 3 controller compared with RC Pro.
yeah,
Yeah, it looks like as long as you have a pretty high nit on that controller, it'd be worth buying with it.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm okay if it's not smart, Maddie. I really am because if it's one of those things that you just fire up and rock and roll pretty fast, unlike the Mavic 3.
Yep.
Y'all
Yep.
that have Mavic 3s, you're all always like, oh my gosh, I was able to fly my Mavic 3 under 40 seconds today. It took 40 seconds instead of the 3 minutes. And you're like, well, my Mini 2, you fire it up and 5 seconds later, you're ready to go.
That the Air 2S, it's so I keep talking about Ray Kelly because we have the same drone, but he made a good comment today when he flies over water, he uses the Air 2S, not
Hey,
the Mavic
Michael's
3.
joined. Michael
And we
flies
just
on
know
drones here. So, hey,
we
Mike.
just we know that we know that the Air 2S is reliable. There's no issues with it, and I think we all feel comfortable with it. I'm hoping one day to feel as comfortable with the Mavic 3 as I feel with the Air 2S. Right now, I don't. And honestly, this was the drone of the year last year. It really was. It was the drone. It
It's still
really,
the
really
best
was.
value on the market, in my opinion.
Well,
It really
I
is.
tell you, I really missed the Air 2, just the Air 2. It's a good drone.
Yeah, and Akarashi is saying that it's going to have two scroll wheels. So I'm looking for those rollers on each fingers. I love them
Yep.
because of the fact that you can do multiple functions with that roller. You press it in, you roll it, you get into a different menu, you get into a different feature, and if it's programmable, it make it even much easier. Yeah. So anyway, fun stuff coming up. Um, hey, Greg Thompson's just joined Harley FPV. Later, everybody. It's time to get to work. All right, Greg. Have a good day at work, man. You take care, my friend. Let's see. All right, guys. Let's see. So, is anybody going to be flying this weekend? We've had so much rain here today, Robbie. I think the river's going to be super high. The kayakers are going to be out, and the very skilled high risk takers are going to
Your
be on.
friend, yeah.
All my buddies, yes, all my buddies are going to be in the water, uh, just loving it. You wouldn't believe how much adrenaline those guys are pumping through their
Well,
veins. Can you
I'll
imagine,
be
man?
back.
Just capsizing through the rapids. Water is like 50 degrees, you get an ice cream headache, and you got a boulder coming at you. You got to like pop up, get going again, man.
Al's got a friend that kayaks, and I saw one of the videos, and the water is going so fast. All you see is this little short kayak going boom, boom, boom. I would just like, it would just rock my brain. I mean, he was literally, I've never seen anything like that guy. He's amazing.
So Charles Galuski was saying that he thinks that the controller is made out of gold.
Made out of what?
Gold.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah,
Or
right.
they'll tell us there's gold in it. So, hey guys, look, I wanted to say that I put, like I said before, I put out a video and I used my Action 2, and it was kind of a strange angle, but the reason I put out the video is I've been kind of putting little hinters at feeds out and stuff about what I've been making with the 3D printer, and I wanted to make some tools. So I got this Dremel, and I know a lot of you guys, have Dremels, and you may not, have, a drill or something like that. Well, you use this a lot with 3D printing because you grind and cut and do different stuff. So what I made was I made a drill press for my Dremel where it fits in like this. The pipe comes up through here. I've got the other piece here. So it's just like a drill press, and it's made specifically for the Dremel. And I even made the base and hold downs for it. That way, when I'm working on stuff, I don't have to have, it gives me a free hand that I'm not using when I'm out there. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys, because I know Maddie and Fly Zone Drones and you, Al, a lot of you guys are in here doing FPV and you're making stuff. Where this unscrews on the Dremel, it leaves threads. I got this new tool I want to show y'all. Check this out.
This is the one I really like. Yeah, I like
it's got
this
threads on the inside, so you just screw it on. And then, of course, you put your bit in there, which is the one that's got the stone on it, for grinding. And if you look, it's numbered on here for what size prop. So you take your prop, put the M5 screw through your prop, and then you just turn it around. And when you turn it, it'll actually grind the prop for the length that you need. So if you want to resize or something, use a different prop or something. So it's a tool that you can use for that. So any of you guys that have got 3D printers that want one of these, let me know, and I'll send you the STL for it, the STL file. And then for you guys that don't have a printer, let me know. I'll send the file to Al, and Al can see about getting you one, because it's a great tool for being able to cut props on.
It is. It really is. I mean,
so that's what I've been making.
Yeah, I've been cutting my 5-inch props to 4 inches for my 4-inch builds, and I just printed out a template that I slide over the prop, and then I cut with my scissors with a template. But this would make it even better, because all you need to do is put a cutter on there. And then as you spin it around, it's going to cut your prop exactly the same way. So it means every one of your blades on that prop is going to get cut exactly the same way. So
look at the detail. Look at the detail in this part. This was done with a dual extruder, 10 log 3D printers, the one I use. And my machine will run all the materials. So I can do carbon fiber, pretty much anything that I want to print out on this printer, and I can do it in multiple colors. But I had done some test runs, and I figured, hey, let me make some stuff that I can use instead of just making stuff and throwing the stuff away. So I actually made this. If I don't even think I can get it off. I made some different stuff, and I did some of this stuff on the printer also. So these are clocks. So we take the YouTube channel, we take the letters and put your logo in it. We actually make clocks out of it. So I thought that was pretty cool for putting behind for you guys that have live streams and, you're doing videos for the back. So the 3D printers are great, guys. You gotta get into this and learn it, because, I think in the future, everybody will have a printer and just make what they need, because, I mean, you can just make so much stuff. And there's a big community out on the internet that gives free files for stuff. So I saw one I liked, and it was a can holder. It was a handle that a can locks into. So instead of having a huggy around it, it holds the can, and it actually has the arm on it. So it was pretty impressive. So anyway, with that said, I just posted the video where I was showing some of this stuff here, but I've got a new video coming out probably for the weekend or on Monday that I want everybody to watch. I'm making something out of carbon fiber, and it's huge, literally huge, like my size. It's huge, and I want you guys to see it because I think you're going to be really interested in it. I've not seen anybody else, at least in our groups, that have ever done it. So I'm really eager to.
No, that's a great idea, Robbie. Yeah,
it's huge. It really is. It's huge.
So in my talking about stuff that you can print, I'll just share with you, Robbie, what I'm at, and then we'll drop because we're running a little over. So I'll share my screen, and here it is. So these are been my designs that I've done on Tinkercad. It's Autodesk program, and as you can see that most of these, and this is what I'm going to be printing next. There's going to be the Batman car plane, and I modified it, put the car and put planes on it, and then I'm going to strap it on top of my drone to fly it. But most of what you see here are parts related to the drones, and
right.
And then there's let me see, the second page you're going to see is going to have a bunch of parts that I printed for all these phones, doggy bags, and there's so many things you can print, and then this little snap-in tinker thing, and then this hands, and yeah, it's just amazing what you can do with this product. And all these parts here are homemade designs for the FX4 and the S4. The Sector S4 bumpers I made for them too. So that just gives you an idea of what you guys can do with the printer.
Well, you don't have to wait. When you want something, you get online and you got to order it, and sometimes wait because maybe you're not buying it through Amazon where you get it the next day. But little stuff that you use like this, just stuff that you can just make in your own color and what you want. I actually started making these, which this is my design with carbon fiber, and I actually did this in SketchUp. So these are the mini whoops.
Yeah,
it's got a carbon fiber bottom and top, and so we're going to be putting some of these together and actually doing some test flying. I'm not flying. My buddy flies FPV. He's going to teach me how to do it. But they're perfect.
Yeah, and here's one of the parts that I was showing here on the screen, Robbie. This is my FAA numbers. And this is another thing that I like to put on my quads. And you can see this big old sucker. It's got my FAA numbers on it right there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll put them upside down so you guys can't read it. So if you guys need FAA numbers printed, let me know. I'd be glad to print them for you guys so you can stick them in the bottom of your quads. And also put finder's fee and phone numbers, whatever you need. It's pretty straightforward what you can do.
Absolutely. So
okay.
Look, we're running 813. We're running 713 or 813 here. So let's finish up here. And you got anything on the closing you want to go over, Al?
Yep, FPV videos coming out, also product videos coming out. So help me out with the product video, guys. We need all the help. Oh, yes, approaching 5,000 subscribers, guys. So I'm going to be giving away a mini drone when I hit 5,000 subscribers. So pump it up, guys. It's going to be a little mini. It's going to be raffled off for one of the lucky subscribers. So you'll have to be a subscriber, and that's going to be the only prerequisite. So looking forward to getting to 5,000. Thank you guys for helping me to reach 4,000. So Thank you.
Okay, well, I've said my piece. I've showed what I wanted to show tonight, talked about and I did my little rant on Autel. You guys, let's keep updated on what's going on with Autel, with Marcus and me and Al, and let's see if they're going to stand behind, what we're buying from them before we continue to buy stuff with them. Because, if it happens to you, you're going to need us like we need you. So let's kind of form our family bond here and kind of communicate and make sure things are right. And other than that, I hope you saw what we showed you tonight and gave you a good example of what a good drone company, the Skydio, and how good they were to Al. So we want you to reach out to Marcus and replace his quad, and also help me and Al with the issues that we're having with the Nano Plus. And other than that, I think we're out of here, Al.
Agreed. Make it right, Autel.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Robbie. Good night.
That's right.
Good show.
We'll see y'all next Monday.